Ooh, pretty sunlight.
Pretty sunlight.
In my old Kentucky home, good night. Weep no more, my lady. Oh, weep no more today. We will sing one song for my old Kentucky home, for my old Kentucky home far away.
Hey y'all, welcome to Stivers Homestead. I'm Zach.
And I'm Jen.
And today is Garden Walk Tour 8?
Week 8.
Week 8. So we're 2 months into these bad boys. And we have got a lot to show.
We do.
Whew, let's jump right into it.
Let's go.
Get your coffee back here?
I do.
It's early.
Trying to beat the heat.
Yep, this time of year, every farmer, homesteader, gardener, whatever you want to call it, is doing their work bright and early, or late. So the first thing we want to show is something brand spanking new. What we got, babe?
There ain't dogs out here.
No, ain't no dogs out. I'm worried about the gate just in case no dog comes running out.
Alright,
Look.
so we got 4 apple trees. Super exciting. One of our awesome subscribers made a way for us to get these so that we can start our orchard. And we love them so much. They're pretty established already. We got them from our local nursery. And I think they're about 2 years old. And we obviously know it's not the most ideal time to plant fruit trees, but we're doing it because we want to, and that's what we do. And we don't have any fears. We're actually just kind of waiting for a little bit of a rainy day or a day before it's gonna rain, and we're gonna get them in the ground.
Yeah, and you know, like she said, these bad boys are 50% off for that reason, because they know it's not the right time to do it. But that's also...
My stepdad planted his apple trees at the same time. About 10 years ago, he planted them in the summertime, and they're still thriving.
Yeah, and you know, it's a good time to get them, because I'm sure your nursery is probably trying to get rid of them too, just because, again, it's not the ideal time. I won't say it's not the right time, it's just not the ideal time. So yeah, go check them out.
On it. We know all the recommendations and stuff, and we'll probably make a video when we do plant them, and we'll tell you about things you can do so that they are safe in the summertime and stuff like that. So that'll be coming.
Yeah. So moving right along to the tires. Everybody's doing really good. This dragon's breath just keeps getting bigger and bigger, which is celosia. Everybody down here just doing the same thing. And then what's this one called?
Caladium.
I can
and
never
mushrooms.
remember.
Look at the
Oh,
mushrooms.
I got some mushrooms popping up.
We're not mushroom people. So.
No, we are not.
They're going to stay where they are.
All right, last week we made you wait. This week you get them early. Here they are. Looks like we got some that are thinking about going to seed a little bit there. But man, it's just every week this grows by, it feels like 100 zinnias each. But they're beautiful as always. As you can see here though, we're fighting a little beetle action. I caught some on here yesterday. I had to karate chop them off there.
This is our little butterfly area too. The butterflies love
Yes. If you want a butterfly garden, you know how that's getting really popular, those butterfly greenhouses and stuff? Plant a bunch of zinnias, because literally every day there's like 20 of them just all over these things. They love the zinnias.
Y'all, I got beans coming out of my ears. All these bush beans and pole beans I planted, I guess I just really underestimated the amount of beans I would get. So
But look here.
We actually harvested a bunch on our bush beans last night, a whole pot of them. And these are all coming up, these beautiful purple beans. These will all probably be ready by tonight, and we'll pick them and add them to the other ones. But yeah, beans, freaking everywhere.
These are gorgeous.
They are.
We might have to, well, they're over here attached to this green one though. I was gonna say we really need to try to save these seeds because we don't know where they are. I don't know.
I think I have more seeds.
That's good. Nice. Now for the garden that seemed to break YouTube this weekend. No, all kidding aside, the zucchini, squash, pumpkin, tilled garden. We posted a video about throwing some Epsom salt. Epsom.
Now you got me.
Epsom.
Epsom.
Yeah, salt on there. And wow. Okay, so there was a very big mix of believers and non-believers of gosh, I can't even try to say it. Salt. A lot of people were 100% against it. A lot of people were for it, saying they've always done it, never had an issue. I posted another video the other day about why it's okay to try things. And now it's time to see a verdict. So anytime you do something, you get about, I don't know, 2 to 3 days in, you can start to see if it's gonna make any changes or not. Kind of like with the fish minerals and stuff like that. So we had blossom end rot. A lot of people were right. You can also get blossom end rot from not having pollination. So if it's just male flowers and the female flowers aren't open, that's absolutely accurate. We were not having that issue.
Definitely not an issue here. We've seen the pollinators doing their job.
And male and female flowers wide open. Pollination didn't need to be hand pollinated. It was 100% blossom end rot from all the rain we had. So we do not have a calcium deficiency in our soil. The water itself made it difficult for the plants to absorb that calcium that's already there. So what Epsom salt is there for, which Barbara, I think it's Finch, she actually posted a beautiful comment on the video that we did that for, which I pinned it to the top so you can kind of see the true details. I'm just summarizing. But basically that magnesium doesn't hurt or push away calcium. It allows the plant to absorb the nutrients in the soil because it's so moist. It's having trouble getting what it needs. So that magnesium in the Epsom salt allows it to actually absorb the calcium that's in your soil. I hope that makes sense. It's a lot of just, I guess, wrong wording in the most case, but that is why Epsom salt, to some people, is beneficial. So let's see what happened. Yep, there you are. Okay, so here we are. Here's the zucchini. We have not gotten one zucchini all year. So I waited to harvest these things just so we could see all the non-blossom end rot. Yeah, I'm disturbing them this morning. And there's another one. And another one. And we got another big one over here. So these are a little bit past that time to get. You actually like your zucchini a little bit smaller. But they'll still be great. Jen's gonna make awesome zucchini bread this week. Be ready for that video. The squash, as you can see the coloring, it's still trying to recover a little bit. However, we are much drier now, so we shouldn't have any issue. And you can see we got some healthier looking squash. Yeah. Much healthier butternut squash looking.
Everything's healthier.
Everything. So, we showed it. You see the verdict. It did not kill anything. I honestly don't know if it actually truly did help. I mean, it might have just been us drying out, but I think it absolutely did help. And y'all see it. I don't know what else to say besides there's the proof in the pudding.
So, was it controversial? Yes. Did a lot of people disagree with us? Yes. Did a lot of people agree with us? Yes. A lot of people use this method every single year for everything, and it works just fine. Will we do it again? Absolutely, because it worked, in my opinion. So, I don't know. I'm sorry if some people didn't agree with that, but the proof was that it has worked for a lot of people. Yeah. And it also worked for us, and we have zucchini now to show for it. So thank you to the ones who mentioned it. Thank you very much. And then thank you for the ones who explained it a little bit better and helped us get the right words, because you know, sometimes we're not good with words. We are glad that we did it, because now we have zucchini. Ain't that the truth? And if you throw some Epsom salt and it doesn't work for yours, that doesn't mean that it doesn't work for everyone, which is what Jim was saying. Everybody's zones are different, everybody's soul's a little different. So there's that. Mark it up. We're gonna keep using it.
On to the next thing. So now we're over here with our sunflowers, which are just growing tall and tall. We got 3 of them. We tried to grow this whole line, but these 3 are hanging out, so we're just gonna let them be. If I can get him in there.
Yeah.
So this is our Jack B. Little.
Pollinating the fire out of it.
Pollinating the fire out of it. Oh, he said that wasn't nice. Okay, sorry, buddy. But yeah, there's one of our Jack B. Littles. They're really getting big. There's another one, and there's a couple more down there that are a little bit smaller, but not much. And here are our Cherokee tan pumpkins, and they are the prettiest things.
Them variegated things.
So pretty. But they're doing great. Like we've mentioned, we only got these 2 that germinated, and they seem to be extremely healthy and doing just fine. So I am confident in them.
Still very, very excited about this squash, zucchini, and pumpkin area.
Yeah.
It's getting a whole lot bigger.
Look at it. It's more green than black wheat tarp,
Yeah.
which is awesome. Look how pretty this is right here. I finally got up there and mowed and weeded the entire little hillside on the pond with our bee box. Still no bees yet. We'll get there. But then the sun rises right over this hillside and shines between them trees. Such a pretty morning around here. Where to next?
Peppers.
Peppers.
Everywhere.
Everywhere. That's kind of the theme here. We got stuff everywhere. So you can see we got all kinds of bells coming on here, over here, got more there. I think these are, let's see what we got here. There you go. How about that? I want to say this is a jalapeno. It looks like one. More bells there. More there. And I know this one's jalapeno.
I love all these little baby jalapenos. So cute.
So we about to have them running out of our ears in this bed. Pretty much every single one of them has fruit on it, and they grow.
Why did we not plant a pepper here?
I think we ran out.
Oh, okay.
I think it was all the starts we had. But you all can see if you go back and like watch the garden tours, this thing, we try to get you a down shot. It literally doubles or triples in size every single week. And we are pumped because we have not been that successful with peppers throughout our gardening years. And this year is looking good. Check out this cool shot. So this is our trellises. This is our loofah gourds, which have officially gotten to the top.
Exploded.
Yeah, they have. This one's going straight up, where the second one kind of V'd out, and we got one going this way, and then one going this way. So they're up here together. But it is really filling out and looking beautiful. And these are all the Chinese red noodle beans. So we planted, what do we say, 7 of them?
Yep.
And we had thought about thinning them out. However, an awesome subscriber recommended leaving them because they didn't need much room width-wise if we're growing up this big, tall caterpillar trellis. So we've left them all in there, and from what we can see, it looks like it's gonna work pretty well. Because they all kind of found their one to go up, and they're not spreading left and right very much, mainly just straight up and down. So I think we're gonna be okay.
Yep.
And if that's the case, we're gonna have a lot of Chinese red noodle beans, because that is a lot of plants popping there.
Officially the favorite spot in the garden.
Yeah, for sure. You know, when they're just standing there and it's just metal, it's like, eh. But once everything starts filling out on them, it's so beautiful. All right, what else we got in here, babe?
All kinds of more bush beans. So this is gonna be our second round that we planted about 3 weeks after the first round of bush beans, and they're all getting big, and soon, probably within a month, we'll have all kinds of beans here too.
Yeah, I would say, because, well, when you all say this is July 2nd, so I would say probably by the end of July, it should be really rocking.
Beans everywhere.
Everywhere. Another pepper doing well. He doesn't have a whole lot of fruit on him, but he's still doing
finally
good.
taking off. We've got real leaves, and it's getting huge. Very excited about that. Here's another okra.
They're really loving our heat wave.
Mm-hmm.
So all last week we were in the 90s, which really helped the garden out, dry out, and then also start converting our tomatoes, which we'll show you in a second.
Yep.
There's another okra. We're getting these out.
I knew they're coming up today.
They're coming up today. All right, now Bonnie's best bed, cucumber bed. They are doing great. You know what, y'all, though? I think next year I want to figure out something else for these cucumbers. So cucumbers do trellis.
This is the first time we've ever trellised them.
It is the first time we ever trellis them. We usually do them in the raised garden bed, kind of like how you saw the squash over there, just kind of vines out and does its own thing. They don't climb very well. You really have to train them, and as established as they are, what? You constantly have to stay on them and tying them up and trying to keep them on the post. And they don't want to climb themselves. I'm having to like actually pull them up and tie them to like their highest state so they can keep spreading. It's happening also over on the chicken wire too. So it's not that these big hog panel squares are too big and they can't reach them, because they're doing the same thing with the cat or the chicken wire. Sorry. So I don't know. I mean, it's working. We're having cucumbers run out of our ears. Jen made what, 4 more quarts or 5 more quarts of pickles yesterday. So the production's not an issue. It's just if you have this big, beautiful caterpillar trellis, you kind of want it to do the same thing on both sides. So, you know, these have kind of just maybe grown maybe a square a week, if that. But it could, to me, it could go a lot further. What are you there, buddy? Buddy, old pal. You need to get off there. We're starting to have them beetles everywhere. So I was getting on my zinnias too. All right, so here are the Bonnie's Best. We still got tomatoes everywhere. They're trying to start to blush. But these are 100% healthy now. That one's really starting to turn. That's a good size one too. You know, these Bonnie's Best really made it hard on us to get to where we are with them right now, but they are turning into a very beautiful tomato. So I'm super excited about them. I'm glad they're finally making it. But every plant has good production on it. You got a little cut there. But they are looking good. Super pumped. But yeah, verdict of this bed is actually talking more about the cucumbers rather than the Bonnie's Best, which is a surprise. I think it's the first week we've ever done that. But let us know how your all's cucumbers are going, if you're doing them up a caterpillar trellis as well. Like I said, those are just, they do themselves. They know how to climb by themselves. Cucumbers, you just have to train really hard and stay on them all the time.
So,
yeah.
Tea garden is still doing
Booming.
crazy things. I have harvested everything in here. I've dehydrated basil. I have picked the dandelion greens. We've eaten them. They are coming back times 10. The marigolds I have harvested, and I'm making a video on. It's a process. It's not like, you know, you can just harvest them and make a video in one day and do it all. This is the second round harvesting them, and they are curing and they're doing what they need to do. So that video will come out probably in another week.
Yeah, because it takes about a 2-week process.
And I'm very excited about it.
Yeah.
What I'm doing with them is a really cool thing. Same for the chamomile. I have already harvested it twice, and it's crazy too. I'm doing things with that, but it does take time to dry out. But I have started the videos.
Yeah, she actually isn't using the dehydrator for these, which
No,
she will explain in the video.
But yeah, everything has been harvested and used, and I'm just waiting on it to be the right time to post the video.
This licorice, is it basil or mint?
Basil.
This is so pretty. It's a very pretty plant.
But yeah, everything is just crazy, going wild. My lemon balm's doing good over here. That's the only thing I haven't done anything with, but I'm going to. Not sure what I'm going to do yet, but I've got plenty of ideas. Just need to choose which one I want to do.
Oh, your lavender.
Yep.
We always show the little growth of lavender every
and my
week.
hyssop. My hyssop's doing good too.
Yep, hyssop's doing good.
And my lemon mint is doing good over here.
See that lavender? She's making her appearance on up. She actually looks like a plant now.
So yeah, plenty of tea garden videos coming. It just takes time.
Yeah.
The herbs have to do their thing, and you can't do a video all in one day or nothing's going to be medicinal the way that it should be. So it's coming though, I promise. I'm harvesting like crazy.
She's not holding them from you. They're getting there.
All right, so I told you that we have beans everywhere. So last night we harvested our first round of the bush beans, and there they are. All kinds of bush beans. And they're gonna be really good. I'm gonna snap them. It's not quite enough to freeze or can yet, so I can't decide if I want to save this batch and wait for the other ones that were over there that we showed you, or go ahead and eat these for dinner. It's such a hard thing. It's such a hard thing to decide when you have stuff start coming in, whether you want to save it or just eat it. We'll probably eat it for dinner tonight.
Yeah, because our ultimate goal with gardening is to preserve and can and have food all through the winter. But sometimes you get a little heavy on just eating them for dinner, and you're like, well, we ain't got nothing to can. But either way, you're enjoying the produce, right, that you created. So whether it's now or later, it just tells you that you might need to grow more of it. Yep. but not us. We have plenty of bush.
Plenty of bush beans.
Yeah. So it's just these plants. I think that's 3 and 3, so maybe about 6. And there's still so many green beans on here. As you can see here, it's kind of hard to tell, but they're everywhere. These are just a little small, so we let them wait. But I mean, look at this. Here in a minute, we're just gonna be picking these every single day.
I love bush beans.
Yeah, I do too. Some people are pole beans, bush beans. It's kind of up in the air and what people do. We did a little bit of both. I like the bush beans.
I love the bush beans, and for Kentucky, they're an ideal thing.
Yeah, and they don't take over.
Yeah.
And we don't normally get too humid to where it's too bad up in there, but
yeah,
they're pretty good. The Rebel tomatoes are making it.
Rebel tomatoes.
That's the Rebel tomato batch that just wouldn't go away. It's like we almost tried to kill them, but they wouldn't die. So we was like, well, we gotta plant them.
They are doing good.
Yeah, they're growing at a normal pace for where we are.
They all got fruit on them, every single one.
Yeah, and of course, as most of y'all probably know, that means it's putting the power in the tomato and not the plant. But we don't want to just waste them, so we might eat these as just green tomatoes once they get at least a decent size. So then the nutrients can focus on the plant growth. But it's done really good. Yeah, look there. We're moving up to the east side. Got a little mulch in our garden.
Yeah, we actually found a really great deal on mulch in the next town. So we are working on getting this whole garden area filled with this beautiful red mulch. Yep. It's gorgeous. I love it.
And we're on a waiting list for chip drop. We're on a waiting list for our local utility companies to come just bring us free mulch. But we've been on there ever since wintertime. We're over it. We want mulch.
Yep.
So
getting our own mulch.
We're having to buy it. We tried to get it free everywhere we could, but
it's really pretty. It looks like carpet.
It does.
Love it.
I like it for my bare feet too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we're gonna put it between every bed, down this way, down the other side. It's gonna be really pretty.
Eventually the entire garden, because it's less I gotta worry about mowing and weeding.
Yep.
And we put the tarp underneath to help with weeds.
Yep.
So here is variety tomato and comfrey. So Jen just harvested this comfrey.
I just made like,
look at you.
So much salve.
These beetles.
Beetles. They're getting the pull too.
Beetle time.
But yeah, I'm about to harvest some more, a whole lot more of this comfrey, dehydrate it, and I'm probably gonna make some more salve just because it has been so popular. I pretty much got rid of it all, so now I need some.
Right. And it is good stuff. I don't know what I did last week, but I had a kink in my neck and I used it on that all week, and it really seemed to relieve some pain. So the tomatoes. These are our German green, Aunt Ruby's German greens, and they are huge. We're basically just waiting for them to ripen to their status, and we're gonna have us some fried green tomatoes up in this place. But these Romas are really looking good. I've been seeing some people having some issues with Romas this year. I mean, again, our humidity's been light, so it's not been too bad. Yes, it has. We had, what, 4 days in the 90s? And you think it's the whole summer. But it was good enough heat to actually have these start turning, but we got Romas everywhere. And then there's some more. That's a black brandy wine. And here is another brandy wine. Ow, just poked myself in the eye. We got more cherries over here. I need to do some more pruning up in this bad boy. We're starting to get everything scattered everywhere. But what we're the most excited to show you is our first ripened tomatoes. So these are the white cherries. There's some over there, over here. And this is a normal cherry that's turning.
All them cute little babies.
So we actually ate one of the white cherries. I told you all that that was probably our most excited tomato to grow. We gave out a lot of white cherry tomato seeds and giveaways too, because we had so many. So I hope your alls, if you grew them, are doing well. It is a very good tomato. I don't know exactly how to describe it, but it wasn't extremely Little pineapple. It wasn't overly tomato.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it obviously tastes like a tomato because it is, but it didn't have the tomato flavor as much as like a red one does, which we like. We don't like an overbearing tomato, so I thought it was really good to kind of have that one. But this bed is blowing up. Every week it grows, and these German greens.
Bell peppers too.
Oh yeah. They're big. I mean, it's bigger than my palm, and they're huge. But yeah, like Jen said, we got some more peppers over here. And those are chocolate bells, so I'm assuming they'll be changing soon. And here is a Tabasco. No, Jimmy Nardello, sorry. And they are everywhere. So that's exciting. More tomatoes. Tomatoes, tomatoes, tomatoes. These are the pink ox hearts. Maybe. No, it's not. That's Roma's. Here is a pink ox heart. You know what's weird, y'all? That is the only tomato on here. And we got some flowering up here. I don't know what that, but we got one that was under a little bit of attack. But that's about the only plant that isn't got so many tomatoes on it. More over here. Oh, that's a wild one. She'll grow big. More brandywines. And here's a good shot of them white cherries. God, they're beautiful. In this bed, we got more bush beans that were under attack by Xena and Daisy. Yep. So they went wrestling and they got in the bed and they trampled a couple of them, but they seem to be coming back just fine. We didn't have as great of germination out of these. They're tenderite beans, is that what they're called? Tenderette. Tenderette. These were not Baker Creek or M.I. Gardner's.
Local seed.
Yeah, so that's the only one we didn't have good germination rate. The carrots are all up everywhere.
Carrots everywhere. These are the heat tolerant kind. Rudisa Red from Baker Creek.
I'm not even going to throw my 2 cents in on it.
They do well in the summer, so if you're looking for a summer carrot, try it.
So once these get a little bit more established, we'll thin them out a little bit so they have room to grow. More onions that we're going to pull up today. And then now it's time to go to pallet trellises.
All right, so this is our cucumber area. The cucumbers that are over there on those pallet trellis were started at the same time as the ones on the cattle panels. So that's our first round of cucumbers that we have been harvesting pickles from like crazy. They're doing really well on the pallet trellises. The only thing over here is ants. But we do the neem oil and the cinnamon, and they just seem to keep finding their way back. But we're still harvesting cucumbers, so we'll take them as long as we can get. And because of all that, we also did plant more cucumbers. So this pallet trellis has a mini white cucumber that's going to grow up, and then the other side has 2. So even if those cucumbers die off, we have got another round coming so that we can continue to have pickles.
And those are short, quick, fast cucumbers. They only get about 3 foot tall, and the cucumbers themselves aren't very big. They're mini whites, so they're good for pickling, and that'd be cool to see a white cucumber. Hi, bunnies.
Look at the funny bunnies. They said, "Where's our grass? We want fresh grass."
And it's time to eat. We get you. Oh, and we forgot to show these. Almost forgot to show. The blueberry bush and raspberry bush. We're kind of treating these like the trees. We're waiting for kind of a cooler night with a little rain. They're doing fine in their pots, so we're not in a ginormous rush. We want to make sure we have the right weather conditions before we go put these bad boys in the ground. Ooh, pretty sunlight.
Pretty sunlight.
It's sunrise. See, look, it's already getting hot. And
very.
When you all see this, it'll probably be around 10 a.m., but it's, what, 7 here?
Yeah.
And it is already getting super hot. So I hope you all are able to fight the weather appropriately wherever you are. Drink plenty of water, stay hydrated.
I'm trying to do everything in either the morning or the evening. The heat of the day, it's just not worth it to get out there and risk being sick or anything, especially with the humidity. It makes the heat index way higher, and it's just not worth it, you know. Get up early, beat the heat, get in. It's the most beautiful time anyway. Yeah. I mean, it's best to get up early, get out of bed, come out in the garden, get your stuff done, beat the heat, and then at nighttime you can do the same thing all over again. Yep. At midday, either get in your pool or take a little siesta. Yep. Recharge the batteries to be ready for the evening round of work.
But I hope you all have enjoyed this garden walk. I know I've enjoyed having my beautiful wife beside me on this video. She wasn't, well, she was in the last one, but more swimming rather than working. But we all got to get that nice time in the pool. So we've really enjoyed that. You can tell by our face. There wasn't enough sunscreen in the world to stop the heat this weekend to get us. But we really enjoyed it. We are harvesting like crazy, and really it's just the beginning.
Yeah.
You know, it's the small amount of harvesting. I would say next week's garden walk, we are going to have handfuls of tomatoes.
Yeah.
More.
I agree.
Baskets full of tomatoes and peppers and zucchini and squash. So on our channel, one last little bit, you know, we are trial and error always. We'll always try it to see, and we'll always let you all know what the verdict here is at our place in 6B. So take it however you want to take it. Try it if you want. Don't try it if you want. Whatever you want to do. We just want to make sure that we are showing you all what could and happen if you do this or that kind of thing. So that's what we live by, and that's what we'll always do.
Yeah.
So I know we're going to have the best harvest we've ever had this year. It's going to be a great year for gardening.
And just remember, if somebody does something different than you, there's no need to put them down for it. Just do your own thing. You can nicely encourage someone to go in a different direction if they're doing something to harm themselves or something like that. But as far as gardening goes, we're all out here just trying to do the best on our homesteads, and there's no reason to put someone down or make someone feel like they don't know as much as you.
For sure.
That's just, there's no room for that here, and I'm sure there's no room for that in y'all's lives either. So
yeah,
just keep doing your best and encourage. You know, you can tell someone different, but with encouraging words, not condescending words. So that's just my 2 cents.
Yeah, for sure. And I'll tell you what, y'all, her stepdad throws a plant in the ground, and he might weed twice a year on his garden, but other than that, that's all that garden sees. And that man has more tomatoes, peppers, watermelons than I've ever seen, and he don't do anything to anything. So everybody, and we're pretty much neighbors. So, but we have to work for ours. We've never been able to just let it go. So he has good soil. That also helps. But that's just showing you right there how different just 1 yard to the other can be. I mean, he can, like I said, I've never seen someone yield so many tomatoes in my life and not even touch a plant. He don't prune, he don't do nothing. But he gets so many tomatoes that you'll ever see right next door. So that's, I think, points made. So thank you all for watching. Anything else you want to add?
I don't think so. Y'all have a wonderful week. Stay cool. Stay dry. And we will be talking to you in the comments.
For sure. Love y'all.
Love y'all.
Bye.